Right, hello people. Today I am going to show you something different because I have another teapot that I got from, as you guessed, my Leaf website. This is called Kushime Black Kyusu. Don't know if you can properly read it. And if I'm honest with you, I was quite pissed off when I got this. Maybe not pissed off, but I was quite disappointed. The reason being is I got this one, probably you have seen it many times, the niching, right? So I have this lovely box here, and where is the teapot? Let me just go through one by one. Types. No, I think it's that one. Bear with me 1 second. So yeah, the niching clay. This niching clay is 104 quid. That's without VAT, right? This one is 74 quid. I'm like, yeah, sure, but my first thought was, if I don't spend 100 quid on a pot, it doesn't deserve a nice box. You know what I mean? Look, this flippy thing, it's magnetic, just look, it clicks there nicely. There's a little pouch for the clay to protect it. You know, it looks really lovely. There's the clay, there's that little pouch, and you put it together. It's just lovely, and just look, there's cushion inside to protect your TV. It's lovely. I mean, it's brilliant, right? So that's what I was kind of expect. But then I got the Kyusu in a paper box with bubble wrap. I mean, this serves the function well. It keeps the teapot secure and safe, right? It's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And at the end of the day, you buy it, you pay for the teapot. But I was just thinking, that was the first thought in my mind. If I am not spending 100 quid on a teapot, it doesn't deserve a nice box. Anyway, aside from that, I'm very happy with the clay, right? So don't get me wrong. It's just, you know, there's the wrap, and you can't put it back nicely. You know how it is when you buy something online. You take it out of the box and you just can't put it back properly. With this is lovely. This, you know what? I'd rather have paid 90 quid for it. Just get a box like this with a pouch. You know what I mean? Just to make it a little bit nicer. But that's my opinion. Anyway, this is how the clay looks like. Right, so it pretty much looks like on the pictures on their website. And the Kyusu, I like the Kyusu because they have this funny handle. First I thought, it's just like, how are you going to use it? But actually, the shape reminds me the ear of Shrek. I know it's silly, but yeah, so pretty much I thought, how can you use it? But as you grab it here, and you put your thumb there, it just works well. It's brilliant. So anyway, I got this for green tea, this teapot, and I'll tell you a little bit more about this teapot because I can't remember the details. What you can also see is, I come a bit closer. So pretty much the opening is huge. It's massive, right? Compared to any other ones. The other ones are quite small. It's not as airtight as the niching. It's quite tight, so I can't move it around, right? But it's not as airtight, so I won't be able to lift it up. And the lid has quite a low profile as well. Looks lovely, and mainly I got this because of that kind of filter inside. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see this if it focuses. Come on now. Why isn't it focusing? Ah, silly thing. It's not focusing. Anyway, so there is a filter there. It's made out of clay, so it's not metal mesh, right? And the reason being I wanted that is because, for example, with the Jakuro and other steamed Japanese green teas, the leaves are quite fine, and they are just pretty much can stick together, and from the other pots they just pretty much come out of the clay. But this one, with this filter, it just holds the leaves inside, so they can't come through. Right, let's have a little story about this. Let me see what they are saying. Come on. Right. So apparently this was made out of where was it saying? Oh, it's gone. So it has been made from red clay, which has been fired in low oxygen to turn the clay a black color. So this is why you just have this red here and black here, because of the firing. And it's a Tokoname clay, and it's unglazed and rich in minerals. So it is less porous than Yixing and similar to high fire clays, but that means it will season very slowly. And right, and it just says about other bits and bobs. So as I said, with deep steam tea, that tends to break up. This pot is better because, as I said, there is a filter there, and it holds the leaves inside. And to be honest with you, it gives the tea a little bit a better taste. Obviously, it's in a clay, not in a random pot. So you probably know by this time that every pot gives different taste to the tea. Some pots are better for certain teas, like I'm using the Nishing mainly for black teas, and I got this for green tea, mainly because of teas, these deep steam teas like the Fukamushi Sekari and the Yokuro. Now, let's make a brew. So, just quickly, that's how the leaves look like for the Fukamushi Sekari. Why don't you want to focus? So that's how the leaves look like. And you might say this is not enough for a pot like that, right? But this tea just absorbs water, and then they become a lump together and they just swell up. So if you put too much in it, and there's the filter, so if you put too much into this pot, then you will just basically won't get enough juice out of it, and the pot will be just filled up with the leaves. It leaves themselves, and it's just not going to be good. So use a tiny amount if you use a Fukamushi Sekari, because this teapot is like 130 ml. And once again, if you just use too much, because the leaves absorb water, they just swell up. They will just they just won't be good. They will be a big lump in the middle of the teapot, and yeah, you won't even get out 1 or 2 cups worth of tea. So yeah, just experiment with it and just use small amount, not more than 5 grams, not more than 5 grams definitely. I haven't measured it obviously, but because I drink it very often, I kind of know how much is okay. So yeah, but now I'm going to make a brew, give it a little taste, and yeah, I will record it as well. Right, so this is the first brew. Just put it through that mesh, because I have that filter in that whatever it is, let's call it gong dai bay, but it's not really a gong dai bay, it's just something I use as a gong dai bay. Right. So what it smells like, it reminds me that kind of fish bone, you know, when you make some sort of fish soup, but also when you make some sort of a broth, like beef broth, but maybe more on the bony side. It's like, I'm sorry vegans if you don't know what I'm talking about, but it is just it reminds me that because we used to do that at winter time, that really, you know, that really deep brothy smell to it. It's just really nice. It reminds me that outside it's cold and the weather is like fresh and cold, but you are making some sort of brothy something sort of soup that warms you up and gives you energy. It just reminds me of that. And the Gyokuro is a little bit more on that side. It's much more refined tea. Of course, it is much more expensive because of that than the Fukamushi. So pretty much the Gyokuro is around 29 quid for 50 gram. This one is, I don't know, 12-15 quid a gram. So yeah, but still, it is quite a good tea. I mean, really, it is a really good tea, especially for this price. And you get nearly as close as the Gyokuro with this tea as possible. So pretty much you can call it a bargain. But I will talk about the Gyokuro another time. Let's talk about this, and also I wanted to show you what I was talking about when the leaves are getting into a lump. I don't know if you can, if it depends on if the thing is focusing or not. Oh, come on, you. Is it going to focus? No, it doesn't want to focus for whatever reason. This is really annoying. There you go. So, after brewing, it just comes up into that lump. They just stay together in that lump. So this is what I was talking about. If you put too much into it, they just be a big lump, and they just go everywhere, and you won't get much tea out of it, because obviously as it absorbs more and more water, as it swells up, it won't give you that much tea. So you have to find that right balance, that the leaves are not too much and still enough. So you know what I mean. You experiment with it, and you will find it out. So yeah, right. And this teapot can be quite a bit deceiving, because obviously the bottom goes like this, it narrows down, but the top is wide. So as you pour it in, it comes up, and all of a sudden it's just full. And it just makes you think that this pot is so big. So you just start to pour it at the beginning. Oh yeah, it's a big pot. Let's pour it in, and all of a sudden it just like whoop, and it fills up and goes everywhere. So just be careful with it, because as it narrows down here, so it comes up really quickly, and then all of a sudden it's just there on the top and it's filled. Right. Let's pour this into the cup. So that's how it looks like. So cute there. So, as you can see, it is quite a cloudy tea, right? And it's greenish, yellowish color, but it still gives that brothy smell. And it gives you that kind of freshness of the green tea as the green teas, but it's just gives you that brothy, bony smell, and just I wouldn't even call it smell, because that would sound bad. I would call it scent. So as I said earlier, when you cook something like a really nice broth, and it just, that kind of smell, it just lingers in. And of course you can taste a little bit of minerality. Not too harsh though, definitely not harsh, and it doesn't give you a bad taste at all. So, yeah, I got this teapot because of this tea, pretty much the green tea. So I decided to have dedicated teapot for the black one, for the green tea, because those are the main ones that I pretty much like. And what I have noticed is in this teapot, a tea like this is not as bitter as in the cheap one that you can just buy on Amazon. So it's not bitter at all. It has the minerality, it has the freshness, it keeps everything, but it's just balances it out very well. This kind of clay, and since if I remember well, this kind of clay is coming from Japan, I believe. I wouldn't swear on it. And this style of teapot as well, the Kyusu, is I believe Japanese. So I thought, you know what, I have these deep steam Japanese tea in a Japanese teapot, in a Japanese clay, so they should complement each other. That was the idea behind it, and to be honest with you, they do work really well. The only thing that I was disappointed slightly is that box. As I said, I mean, I do believe that this teapot would deserve a nice box as well, even if it makes the price up a little bit higher, like 80 quid, 90 quid, you know what I mean. But at least it would have a nice box, nice pouch, well cushioned, not just a paper box with bubble wrap. Right. The other interesting thing with this tea is because you brew it like 5 times, right? But you make quite long brews. So beginning, the first one is like 50 seconds, but it's a bit tricky because it's on 70 degrees. So I will show you how to make perfect 70 degrees water with a basic kettle and the help of math. But normally you pretty much, if you drink enough, you just use your ear and you are like, yeah, that's about right. That the water, how it starts to heat up that sounds about right. But I will make perfect 70-degree water as well for you, and I will show you how to do it if you are um, that kind of perfectionist. Right, so the other thing is, so you have long brews with this tea, and you just add more and more onto it. So as I said, the first brew is like 50 seconds, and you just put like 5-10 seconds with every brew, and pretty much you can brew it 5 times. With the 6th brew, I would say maybe you want to raise the temperature a little bit, but then this frothiness is pretty much gone with the 6th brew. Right, so five brews are perfect. But obviously, once again, if you are brewing it for less amount of time, you can get more brews out of it, and also less intense flavor. Also, this is quite high in caffeine as well. So, for example, if I would do like 2 or 3 more brews and I would drink it within like a short period of time, like 20 minutes, I would be jumping up. Well, maybe not jumping up and down, but I would be definitely be more awakened. And as you probably know, with the caffeine level in your body, it doesn't go up like this and then slumps down like with coffee. It just builds up and stays with you for quite a long period. I don't know how much, I don't know the technicalities of it, and every people are different, right? I know people who can drink like 6 coffees a day and they have no issues, and they can drink a coffee just before bedtime and they can fall asleep. While if I drink a coffee before bedtime, well, I'm not going to go to bed. So everybody's a little bit different, right? But this definitely makes you awake. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to say today. Let's finish this first brew. So as you can see, I'm pushing my luck here. So as you can see, with that small amount of tea, I made 2 cups of tea, and this cup is apparently 50 mils, and the teapot is apparently like 130, 140 mils, can't remember exactly. So this is what I meant. It looks big because the opening is huge, so it deceives you. Oh, this is a big teapot, you can put more leaves in it. But no, because they just absorb the water, they stick together as well, and you might end up with 1 cup of tea instead of 2. But if you don't put enough leaves in, you can get 3 cups out of it, but then you will have less flavor. You know what I mean? So you will have to figure it out for yourself, pretty much. And now I was really pushing my luck with this. I filled it up right to the top. Yep, and I made a bit of mess, but hey. So yeah, I was pushing it. What I have noticed that when you leave the tea to cool down a little bit, so I didn't leave it cool down, I don't know how many minutes I'm talking, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes. As it cooled down a little bit, it gives you more of the minerality side, but once it's hot, it just I don't know how the chemistry works with this. Probably as it's hot and it's steaming, it releases certain chemicals into the air that just makes that frothy smell. That's just really nice, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's about it of this tea, because basically I wasn't going to review the tea, I was going to show you a little bit of this clay pot. And as I said, I really like it. I do love it. I love the shape of it. And I don't know who decided to come up with this Shrek ear handle design. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, it just reminds me the ear of Shrek. I mean, or maybe the Ear of Shrek was designed by this, I don't know, from this, I don't know. But it is really brilliant. I didn't think I will be able to use it, but as I said, if you just grab it here, don't grab it too close because you will burn yourself, so don't do that. So grab it here. Mind you, if you have really big hands, mine are not big, but if you have bigger hands, then this handle will be a little bit small for you. I mean, you can see it's pretty much like 2 fingers wide. So you grab it here, put your thumb down on the lid, and you pull it out like this, or so. And it's really comfortable as well. I know that most of the Kyusus are made for the right-handed people, and this is the other kind of, maybe it's disadvantage, because with the normal one you have a handle here, you grab it, pull it, and if you switch side you can grab it, pull it with your left hand. But with this one, if you try to pull it with your left hand, you can't, because the nozzle is facing upwards, so nothing is going to come out. But I know that they have made this kind of clay for left-handed people as well, but I haven't seen many, and I think that's a little bit of a shame. I mean, there are plenty there, don't get me wrong, but for example with this teapot on Mayleaf's website, this teapot is just right-handed, right? So what I don't understand why, maybe it's, well, they don't even know their customers. Most people don't know if their customers are left-handed or right-handed, but in this case what I would think it would be nice if you would have left-handed and a right-handed version of the same clay. It would be really nice. And of course you can't really decide how many people are left-handed whatsoever, but there are some surveys that made by governments and all sorts, so we have a rough idea what is the proportion of left-handed people compared to right-handed people, right? So I don't know, I haven't looked it up, but let's say that 3 people out of 10 are left-handed. So why don't you just stock 7 right-handed pot and 3 left-handed pot? So it would be really nice if they would have left-handed version of the same clay. It would give a better choice for the customers, really, because maybe they are left-handed and they would love this pot, but they would prefer it if it would be left-handed, so they could use it with their left hand and they wouldn't need to use their right hand. I mean, it's not difficult to learn, don't get me wrong, it's not difficult, but it would be a nice touch, shall I say. Maybe there's no need for it, maybe there is no demand for it, I'm not sure. This is just my thought, that I can see a lot of left-handed teapots, but it's not like the left-handed version of this one or of the same clay, if you know what I mean. Maybe I haven't looked well enough. This is just my thinking when I'm thinking about pouring this way, right? It's just something that came into my mind. That's all. Anyway, let's cut this short, because I can do quite a lot. Right, so in summary, 74 quid without VAT. I think it does worth it. It's a lovely pot, looks lovely, performs lovely. I mean, it keeps the leaves inside, right? So I mean, if you look into this filter, you can't see any leaves in it, pretty much, which is great, because with other pots that I have used, like the Jakuro whatsoever, half of it ended up there, but because this one has that mesh in it, well, it's not mesh, it's just smaller holes, pretty much. It's made out of clay, right? This filter, this was the other reason why I chose this, because that filter is clay, not metal, and yeah, it keeps it in, it won't end up there. So I don't really need this. I don't know what to do with it, so I keep it in. So overall, I really like this pot. I would just prefer if it would come in a nicer box rather than a paper box and bubble wrap. That's it for today. I shall see you in another video where I explain how to make 70 degrees water, and yeah, I will review the Yakuro as well, and I have another green tea that I will review with this pot, and then I will have something else for you. Alright? See you later. Bye.